I'm not going to post flashy visuals or clever little flash images on my video. But what I am going to do is I'm going to quickly run down why I believe that the Obama administration, the Obama White House, has boycotted Fox News. Fortunately, I think maybe somebody in the White House must have listened to me in the last video that I did, where I was suggesting that liberals should boycott Fox News altogether. It looks like maybe somebody was listening to me, but regardless whether they were listening to me or not, they've done it. Now, here's my opening statement. First of all, I believe that it's important to always have a contrary view. So, in that effect, I will say that Fox News definitely does have a place in the media. It does have a place. If it's going to provide a contrary view, then fine. That can be Fox News' job. If MSNBC or CNN want to be a contrary view to whatever Fox News proposes, then, fine. Because as far as I'm concerned, none of those stations are real news. As far as I'm concerned, MSNBC versus Fox News looks just like Democrats versus Republicans. It looks just like liberals versus conservatives. And CNN, in my opinion, is a little less biased and a little more balanced than MSNBC, and definitely more balanced and less biased than Fox News. But the problem is, when people turn to these channels, they really believe that what they're seeing is news. As far as I'm concerned, most of this isn't news. Most of this is editorial caricature. Most of this is nothing more than opinion from people who don't have the facts, people who rely on someone to research the facts for them before they can say anything. The good old days of actually having news are gone. The good old days of Walter Cronkite are gone. The only news channel that I can even think of, and I am a New Yorker, is 1010 Wins. When I turn to 1010 Wins, they run down traffic, they run down weather, they run down local problems or local achievements, they run down crime levels, and that's it. They don't really give any opinions. They just run down the news in a nice, monotonous voice. The problem is, people don't want to hear that anymore. People want entertainment. And when you want entertainment, whether it's that you're watching Joel Osteen for religious entertainment, or whether you're watching Creflo Dollar for religious entertainment, or whether you're watching any of the numerous televangelists that there are, all you're getting is entertainment. You're not getting real news, and if you're watching those people, you're not getting real church. In fact, people like Joel Osteen aren't even real ministers, but they pass themselves off pretty well as real ministers. People like Bill O'Reilly, I don't consider him a real journalist. He passes himself off as a real journalist pretty well. And if the people are too ignorant to know the difference, then nobody's going to be able to say anything otherwise. Now, anyway, back to Fox News. Yes, it is important to have a contrary opinion. It is important to have someone object to something if they feel that it is either detrimental to society or if they think that it's going to be problematic. My problem with Fox News is the exact same problem that I have with these white conservatives, that show up to these tea-bagger party meetings and these rallies that pop up every now and then whenever they feel like protesting taxes, and they'll probably do another one when tax season rolls around this year. Here's my problem. Let's say that you are a white male or female. Let's say you're a white conservative, and let's say that you really want to have a protest about taxes. There's nothing wrong with that at all, and I think that it's actually healthy. As far as I'm concerned, I see your view exactly as you see it. We're being taxed too much, and you're angry that the government is wasting your tax dollars. You're angry that you don't think that your tax dollars are going where they should be going. You don't think that they're being used to build up the infrastructure of the country. You don't think that your money is being used properly. I've got no problem with that at all. Now, the problem comes when these teabaggers show up to a rally, but then other people who have their own agenda, maybe it's not taxes, they show up to these rallies too. And if you allow people who want to simply protest Obama and hold up signs saying he wasn't born American, he was born in Kenya, he was born in Indonesia, and they can't even, it's sad because they can't even get their conspiracy theories coherent. They can't even make them coherent. Some people say Kenya, some people say Indonesia. If you're going to allow these people to boycott or protest with you, if you're going to allow them to protest with you, you're ruining your own movement. You're cheapening your own movement. If you're going to protest taxes, show up to protest taxes with people who've only showed up to protest taxes. If you're going to protest taxes, but you're going to allow abortion or anti-abortion people to show up, and you're going to allow birthers to show up, if you're going to allow people who are protesting Acorn to show up, all you're doing is looking like a flash mob. A flash mob is a group of people who have showed up without a coherent goal in order to protest something. And again, I'm right up there with you. I believe that our taxes are too high. But my question is, where were you when President Bush was talking about invading Iraq? Where were you when President Bush was talking about nation building in Afghanistan? You should have protested then. Because now we're in a situation where Obama can't pull the troops out immediately. Even if he wanted to, he couldn't do it because it wouldn't be a responsible pullout, and we'd probably end up with a situation like we had at the end of Vietnam. And we don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want to see our equipment being thrown off fucking buildings, and I don't want to see our people getting shot in the back. But the problem is, Bush created a situation where Obama now has to clean it up. For him to move fast and irresponsibly is dangerous for our troops. So, you didn't protest Bush's drive for war in Iraq. Some people did, and those people were immediately demonized by Fox News. Meanwhile, MSNBC and CNN had their back. And MSNBC and CNN were constantly bringing people on the show to boycott the war. Where were you when it came time to boycott those wars? But never mind that. Here you have this person who's the first black president, and here you also have on the other side people like Rush Limbaugh and people like O'Reilly and people who at Fox News openly were criticizing him, claiming that he wasn't even an American. But most of their claims weren't even, how should I say, most of the claims weren't even founded on realistic evidence. He was born in Hawaii, and that's it. And that's the end of the argument. But these people are basically attacking the man and using ad hominem assault rather than having a real, a definite, real, logical opinion about Obama's policies. So if you're not going to attack his policies in a logical manner, and you're only going to cater and bring on people talking about birther movements and bring on people who always have some type of race-baiting slant, well, then you're cheapening your own movement, and no one's going to take you seriously. So, yes, it's important to have a contrary opinion, but it's also important to be logical when you make your accusations. And that's something that white Christian conservatives have not figured out yet, and that's why you're continuing to slip in the polls. That is why you may not win the election in 2012, and that's why you probably won't win the one in 2016 either. And basically, whatever part of the country you think you're losing, you're going to continue to lose it. And it's just that simple. You're going to lose it to progressivism. And that is the new word for this year, progressivism. We're being progressive. With or without you, we're moving along. And it's about time that Obama and his White House have boycotted Fox News, because all they've done thus far is make ad hominem attack, and they have not used logical attacks against his policies. If I was working at Fox News, I would be logically attacking his policies instead of catering to people who have nothing more to say than how much they hate the man. But as far as I'm concerned, you'll have to figure it out yourself, otherwise your party will fall into obscurity. And the left wing wants to see that happen, definitely. And even some of the independents want to see it happen because they're sick and tired of the back and forth, and they think that your side is irrelevant. So, hopefully you'll learn your lesson, and if you don't, well, then be prepared to be extinct.